Right. How about now? Thank you, Mohammed, for that right there. Okay, you should hear me now. Sound is good? Hopefully you do hear me now because I just turned the mic on. Awesome. Okay, hello everyone. All right, I'll let you know what I just said then. My name is Adrian, and this will be an IELTS class on listening. We're using test number 1 from our aehelp.com and gieltshelp.com websites. aehelp.com is for academic IELTS. You'll see that up here as well. And gieltshelp.com is for general IELTS. When you join our full course, you have lots and lots of resources. You have over 100 hours of video lessons. You have live streaming lessons as well as pre-recorded HD high-definition lessons. You can book, practice IELTS speaking interviews, get writing, editing help, send me an email if you have questions, adrian@aehelp.com, and you can try our website for free. There is a demo version, okay? Yeah, you can definitely learn English from watching films, Tumrure Maklalo. All right, Jay, just go to our website and you'll see how much it costs when you click there. We have 3 different tiers. So for countries with low GDP, such as India, for example, it's $19 US. For countries with mid GDP, it's 39 US. And high GDP countries such as Germany, United States, it's 59 US. So we do that to try to make it more accessible and reasonable for many students around the world. I hope that makes sense, Jay. All right, let's get cracking. Let's get right into it. Good to see you in this class as well, Baljit. We'll be doing some listening. This is coming out of book number 1. Now, for IELTS listening, you have 4 sections. For each section, you have 10 questions. And the sections get more and more difficult as you go along. So section 1 is the easiest, 2 becomes more difficult, 3 becomes even more difficult, 4 becomes the most difficult. All right, as we get into this, so I want to focus on just pretty much practice today. But as we get into this, I want to ask you one important question. How can you improve your listening skills for IELTS and for English in general? So what can you do? Now here, just quickly before I forget, this is our schedule for our live classes. You can find this in our comments on our YouTube channel as well. So we'll be doing all of these different classes coming up. Okay, what can you do to improve your listening? What can I do to improve my IELTS listening score? Okay, I just want to run through a few key points here just to remind you. Okay, practice active listening, absolutely. Khaled, Jeffrey, yeah, practice active listening. What does active listening actually mean? Yeah, Mitesh, the time of our classes is available on our YouTube channel. We don't have it posted on our website. Okay. Listening to things like BBC News, so British English, is a great idea. Because IELTS is British English. Yeah, so on. That's great. Okay. So Jeffrey says repeat after the speech. Yeah, so repetition is good also, repeating what you hear. Active listening, that's right, Jeffrey. It's asking and answering questions about what you read or what you listen to. Asking and answering questions about what you are listening to. Okay, so those are a couple good points. So number 1, practice active listening. Asking, answering questions about what you're listening to. Do that with different sources, such as listening to British English, BBC News, watching some British sitcoms or soap operas, absolutely. What else can you do to help your IELTS listening score? What else? So there are some other things, and I think some of you are now repeating what a lot of others have said. Watching English videos with subtitles is really good. Yeah, I'll add that in. That's definitely a worthy point that you made there, Begzad Siyunov. So watch with subtitles. Use subtitles. It's great. Many of our videos have subtitles for this reason. Okay. What else? Thank you, Jeffrey, for that point. Join our full course at ahelp.com, glshelp.com. And beyond jokes aside and sales pitch aside, there are a couple of things there that are important. Visualization, Amanjad, is a very good point as well. So visualize what you listen to. There's another really important one, and I'm thinking of this especially because we're looking at listening 1 and 2 here. Talk to friends who are British, yeah. Paraphrase questions, absolutely. So practice paraphrasing regularly. Okay, and another one too, and this is one that you should not forget, is know the system of IELTS. Be familiar with the question formats and how to answer them. Okay? And another important one is know spelling. Okay? So in the reading and in the listening section, spelling matters. So maybe you're good at listening and you understand what you hear and you have the right answer, but if you put the wrong spelling, then you will get it wrong. So you need to practice your spelling. How can you practice spelling? What's a good way to practice spelling? Let's see if anybody has figured out a couple of good ways. I know I've come across a good one. Using all capital letters, Baljit, could be a good strategy as well, but you still need to know how to spell words, especially common words like days of the week and days of the month and so on. So how can I practice my spelling? Reading, Chahal, is definitely a good way to practice your spelling. There are a couple of more direct ways. Use the dictionary, sure. How about this one? It's a big tip for everyone. Find a spelling game app on your phone and play it regularly. Okay, so there are a lot of games that we play on our mobile phones. If you go to your app store, and here I'm giving away for some free sponsorship to these spelling games, but it's definitely worth it. Go to your app store, so go to your Play Store, go to your iStore, your Apple Store, and type in spelling game or spelling bee game, okay? Or spelling bee game. And you'll find that there are lots of apps out there. So there's a lot of different apps that are to do with English spelling. And some of these games can actually be quite fun. Some of them are interactive. You can play them with other people, or they can be competitive. So you can match up with other people to see who is better at spelling in English. And by playing these games, you can definitely get a good hang of your or a good grip on your spelling skills. So I highly, highly, highly recommend using these spelling app or spelling bee app games on your mobile phone, okay? Play just 10-15 minutes a day, do that regularly, and it will be great for you. Now, again, that's a free plug because I have nothing to do with those apps, but they're definitely, I know, useful for our students, so do that. Okay, cool. So enough said. Lots of information there on what you should do for your spelling or how to improve your spelling. Because it's not just enough to listen and understand what you hear on IELTS, but you have to be able to spell answers correctly. Okay, I can't emphasize that enough. All right, so again, let's get back to our listening section 1 here. Please, everybody, have your pencil and paper in front of you. This is our general IELTS website. It's green. This is our academic IELTS website. It's blue. When you are a student, you log in at the top. You can join our full course by clicking any of these big red buttons. You can try the demo version of our course by clicking on the green button. And then, of course, you can use our materials and all of our materials when you have our full course. So log in. You have a My Student account. Your My Student account has interactive practice tests that you can use on your phone or your tablet or your computer. You have a full online academic IELTS course. It's got all of the different sections for IELTS. You have a curriculum book where you can download our exam books, you can download our study plans, you can download our workbook. So lots of help for you there. You can contact us anytime through the website. Then you have all of our lesson videos, and there are lots and lots and lots of videos. And then you have your CDs, the CDs that go with the exams. Now, in your CDs, you'll also have some bonus CDs for days of the week, months of the year, different kinds of bonus audio, so make sure you listen to those as well. Okay, if everybody's ready to go, then we will get going with the listening. So please have your pencil paper ready. Please wait until the end of the audio to discuss the answers, okay? Please give everybody a fair chance. So just let me check that my volumes are maxed out. They are. I'm using a speaker here, girls and guys, so when you're using the website, it's much higher quality. And boom, boom, boom. Here we go.
This recording is copyrighted by 2Think1 Solutions Inc. and World ESL Tutors. You will hear several different recordings and you will answer questions on what you hear. There will be time given to read the instructions and questions, and you will be given a chance to check your work. The recordings will be played only once. The test is made up of 4 sections. At the end of the test, you will have 10 minutes to transfer your answers to the answer sheet. Now turn to section 1. Listening section 1. You will hear a conversation between 2 men as one of the men registers for a football league. First, you have some time to look at questions 1 to 5. You will see that there is an example. This time only, the conversation relating to this question will be played.
Hello there. I'd like to register for the Autumn Men's Football League.
All right. In what town will you be playing?
I'd like to play in Chester, though I'd be willing to travel to Liverpool if I had to.
The man says he wants to play in Chester, so B has been indicated for you. Now we shall begin. You should answer the questions as you listen, because you will not hear the recording a second time. Listen carefully and answer questions 1 to 5.
Hello there. I'd like to register for the Autumn Men's Football League.
All right. In what town will you be playing?
I'd like to play in Chester, though I'd be willing to travel to Liverpool if I had to.
Well, we have 2 spots left open on the team in Chester and 5 spots open on the team in Liverpool. There's a very good chance you would have to try out for the team in Chester. Are you a good player?
I consider myself a good player, yes. I have been to a number of the Autumn Men's League games in the past, just as a spectator, and I'm sure I would have no trouble fitting in.
Okay, good. So we will register you for Chester then. I just need to get some information from you, starting with your position. Where on the field do you prefer to play?
I'm a midfielder, although really I can play anywhere aside from goalkeeper.
Oh, I forgot to ask your name.
Right, I guess that's important. My name is Steve Trammell.
Would you mind spelling Trammell for me?
Certainly. Trammell is spelled T-R-A-M-M-E-L-L.
Right, now I need your home address, including your postcode.
I live in Chester, of course, at 452 King George Avenue. The postcode is MS868P4.
MS868P4?
Yes, that's right.
And your date of birth, sir?
The 8th of September 1986.
Okay. Now I need your phone number. Just a mobile number will do.
I don't have a mobile phone right now, unfortunately. I can give you my girlfriend's number instead.
That would be all right, I suppose.
Good. Her number is 329 633270.
Fine. I think that's all the information I need to gather from you. Do you have any questions?
Yes, I do have a couple. First, when does the season start?
The season starts on the 28th of September, although your first game is later, I think. Let me check the schedule. Yes, your first game is October the 1st in Liverpool. Let me make a copy of the schedule for you.
Thank you. Could you also tell me how long each game is?
Each game has 2 halves, 40 minutes each half, so the game is 80 minutes long.
That's a little shorter than the other leagues I've played in. Games are usually 90 minutes.
Yes, our spring and summer leagues are 90-minute games, but our autumn league has only 80-minute games. I think it has something to do with the poor weather.
You now have some time to look at questions 6 to 10. Now listen to the rest of the interview and answer questions 6 to 10.
Okay. Can you tell me how many players are on each team? And I mean on the whole team, not just the players on the pitch.
Usually there are 5 additional players to the 11 on the pitch, so there are 16 players on each roster. We generally find that to be the perfect number. It allows for a few players to miss a game, but still allows lots of playing time for each player.
Yes, playing time is what I was worried about. I don't want to pay my money and then sit on the sidelines the whole season. Are there minimum playing time requirements?
Yes, each player must play a minimum of half a game, so you are guaranteed at least 40 minutes of playing time per game.
Wonderful. That puts my mind at ease. Could you tell me what facility we play at in Chester?
That information is on the schedule, along with the addresses of all the other facilities in the league. Here's your schedule.
Thank you. Oh, good, it states we play 2 streets from my flat. How convenient.
That is very lucky. Do you have any more questions?
No, I think that's it. Oh, wait, how much does it cost to register?
It's going to be £125 for the season, including all fees. How would you like to pay?
I'll be paying cash.
Right. Would you like a receipt? If you find that it doesn't work out time-wise, you can always bring the receipt back.
That is the end of section 1.
All right, so that is a typical section 1 for the IELTS listening section. It's generally to do with some kind of a common everyday topic, such as registering for an autumn men's football league, as in this case. Let's go through the questions. So I'll throw it out to you girls and guys. Let's see how you did. Okay, let's take a peek. Baljit, we're rotating back to our first exam. We have 6 exams. So if you've done this one, it means you've done all 6, or you joined in the beginning and maybe missed a couple. So you'll have to check that, okay? All right. So let's go through this. You have an example that's given for you. The answer is B. The man would like to play football in Chester. If you have done this one before with us several weeks back, then please let other people answer the questions. All right, number 1. How many football matches has the man played in the league? Okay, so how many matches has the man played? A, 10, B, 0, C, 40 to 50. And if you've heard this before, don't answer it. Okay, so Baljit, if you know the answer, don't answer. Okay. All right. The answer is, let's see how many people. B, Sanim, Bugatti, B. Yeah, the answer is B. He says he's been to a number of the games, but just as a spectator, so just as the audience. So the answer is B, it's 0. Okay. All right, and what position does the man play? So number 2, the administrator asks, what position do you play? And he answers quite clearly. Okay, good for those of you who figured out it was A. There was a little bit of a trick there. You have to be careful. He said, I'm a midfielder, but I can play anything aside from goalkeeper. So midfielder is what he clearly identified as his position there. Make sure you don't say goalkeeper because he said aside from goalkeeper, and aside means except. Okay, so except for goalkeeper. So B and A. Okay, so here we have the type of question that's called fill in the form. This is where you really need to practice listening for names, phone numbers, postal codes. You write no more than 3 words. His name is Stephen what? Okay, his name is Stephen Trammell, spelt with double M, double L. Bugatti, be careful, not double N, it's a double M, double M. Okay, so Trammell, and you can write all capitals like this. Okay, so Stephen Trammell. All right. Okay, and what is his postal code? Definitely make sure that if you're writing lowercase that your first letter is a big T because it's a name, it's a proper noun, right? Arcana says it's MS868P4. That will be correct, I believe. Here we go, here we go. All right, yeah, and just writing it like that, MS868P4 is correct. So for number 3, Trammell. For number 4, MS868P4, okay? Again, that's why it's important to listen to letters and numbers in British English. We have some extra audio on our website that helps you with that. So if you go to either aehelp.com or glshelp.com and you look at the end of the list of audio CDs, you'll find that there's some extra audio that helps you to listen for the British accent for that. Okay, number 5. Here you have to choose the correct letter. So match the time with the event. The event is Stephen's first match. So basically in your answer sheet, you have to write A, B, C, or D. Is it September 30th, 28th, 3rd, or 1st? Which one's the correct answer? That's right, Amanjad. That's right, Bugatti. That's right, Begzad. Write capital letters. Write it clearly. So here the answer is D, okay? So you should have D for this one. Now, I know that some of you students have been watching these lessons for a good few weeks now, which is great, good for you. And we're kind of cycling back to exam number 1 from our 6 exams. And that's okay. It's not a bad idea to have a second listen to these listening sections to improve your listening skills. I always tell students, don't just keep going for new material, but make sure you use older material to review, repeat, and increase your skills. All right, here you have a chart type question. So this is another kind of question you can see in listening. This is where you have to fill in the table. And it says league, autumn, game length 80 minutes. Make sure in your review time you're really paying attention to these headings. Number 6, again, write no more than 2 words for each answer. So players on the roster, how many players are on each roster? 16, yeah, absolutely. So 16 players on each roster, okay? For number 7, what's the minimum playing time? Yeah, that's right, Baljit. They give you the math, so they say 11 and 5, and then you have to add those together. Okay, very good. Sanim, be careful. You'll get it wrong, okay? You have to have 2 words here. You have to have 40 min, okay? So 40 min, you can write minutes or the full word. You can write it all capital or all small, but you need both. If you just write 40, you'll get it wrong because the time is not given for you. So you actually need to write 40 minutes, okay? It doesn't say it anywhere else, so you need to include that in your answer, all right? Remember, girls and guys, section 1 is the easiest section, par none. So you want to try to get all of these answers correct, okay? You don't have to have the dot, Baljeet, but it is the correct way because it's an abbreviation. So it's a good idea to put it there. It's just good practice for your writing, but you will get it correct without the dot. Okay, number 8, choose the correct letter A, B, or C. Why does the man say he's lucky? So you hear the admin guy say, hey, he is lucky, okay? Yeah, he said it's near his flat, Arcana, that's right. So the playing field is very close to where he lives. And of course, here again, you just put a nice big letter C into the box in your answer sheet when you transfer the answers. Be very careful when you're transferring your answers in the listening section. Make sure you don't make mistakes with the numbers. It's a good idea to reference the numbers every now and then. So go look at number 8, look at its number C, and make sure you don't miss what's going on there, okay? So C was the correct answer because the man says, oh, great, that's just 2 blocks from my flat. He says, it's just 2 blocks away from my flat. 2 blocks is very close. It's only about a 2-minute walk, so it's close to where he lives. Okay, a couple more answers here. Write no more than 2 words for each answer. What is the cost of the football league? How much does it cost? Careful, you're not given any kind of a sign here, so no more than 2 words. Here, you definitely need the symbol. It's not Indian rupees, Baljeet. It is 125 pounds, right? So you have to write 125 pounds. The easiest is to use the symbol, but if you don't know the symbol for some strange reason or you forgot it, then you need to write pounds with an S. If you just write pound, it will be wrong. It's plural. It's 125. So 125 pounds, okay? Don't do this, okay? This is wrong. You can't have pounds, pounds. So one or the other, never both, okay? Make sure it's correct. Don't lose easy marks. Number 10, last one. How does the man pay for the registration fee? And we have a few people jumping ahead of the game. Khaled, it's okay to write in cash. Just cash is enough on this one here. Arcana, yeah, that's a good way to do it. Just big letters, cash. Okay, so he pays cash, just like that. No 2 words needed there. Okay, if it says no more than, it means that it's maximum 2 words. But definitely sometimes the answer is just 1 word. If you do write in cash or by cash, it'll be fine. You'll get that right. Okay, so let's jump right into section 2. So section 2 gets a little bit more difficult. You have to pay a little bit more careful attention to the answers. Again, girls and guys, please wait till the end of the audio to go over the answers. Also, make sure you save your answers so that when we go over section 3 and 4, you can check your total score and you can get a band score, okay? Is everybody ready to continue with section 2? Writing caps, Arcana, be careful. It's actually easier to make spelling mistakes with all capitals. It's about twice as common for students to make spelling mistakes when they're using all capitals. So careful with that. Okay, you got to make sure that you practice it. All right, let's jump right ahead then into section 2 while you're all warmed up and ready to go.
Now turn to section 2. Take some time to look at questions 11 to 16. Listening section 2. You will hear a radio presenter interviewing a woman about the infamous ship Titanic. First, you have some time to look at questions 11 to 16. Now listen carefully to the interview and answer questions 11 to 16.
Good afternoon to all our listeners and welcome back to History Now. a weekly programme that reflects on subjects of historical influence. Today we are going to speak with Dr. Andrea Smithson, an historian at the University of Glasgow. Good afternoon, Andrea.
Good afternoon, Peter.
What are you going to talk about today, Andrea?
I'll be talking about one of the most catastrophic events in maritime history, the sinking of the Titanic.
I can't wait for you to begin.
Thanks, Peter. The Titanic was an enormous ship. The makers called it unsinkable. From end to end, it measured approximately the length of 3 football pitches. It had the capacity to carry over 3,500 passengers, as well as the over 800 people on the crew of the ship. Despite its massive size and impressive capacity, the Titanic was able to cruise at a speed of 40 knots. This was in large part due to the 59,000 horsepower engine. Just how much is 59,000 HP? Well, in literal terms, it's like being pulled by 59,000 horses. More realistically, it's the equivalent power of 500 cars. On the maiden voyage that left Southampton, England, on the 10th of April 1912, there were 1,343 passengers and 885 crew members. There were 3 different classes of tickets for those aboard the Titanic. A third-class ticket was the lowest level ticket. At the time, it cost between £3 and £8. A second-class ticket cost about £12. A first-class ticket cost anywhere from £30 all the way up to £870. In today's money, £870 is over £20,000. You may be wondering what the people in the first class were paying for. They had luxurious rooms on the highest decks, delicious meals for breakfast, lunch and dinner, as well as the finest entertainment money could buy. On the other hand, those in third class slept in cramped rooms which were quite plain and small and did not have access to the fine restaurants and entertainment on the upper decks of the ship. Now I'd like to tell you about a few lesser known facts about the Titanic. Although there were 4 large funnels, or smokestacks, on the Titanic, only 3 of them were functional. One of the funnels was put there just to make the ship look even bigger and more impressive. The ship carried over 70 tons of food for the passengers, including over 40,000 eggs.
You now have some time to look at questions 17 to 20. Now listen to the rest of the interview and answer questions 17 to 20.
On the night of the 14th of April 1912, on her maiden voyage, the Titanic hit an iceberg. About 3 hours later, early morning the next day, the ship sank. The reasons for the sinking are numerous. First, the watertight doors, which were supposed to keep water out, didn't work properly. Second, the night of the 14th of April was incredibly calm on the water. Icebergs are easily spotted when there are waves crashing against them. On this night, there were no waves. The strength of the metal in the Titanic was not as it should have been. The metal became brittle in the freezing cold and was easily broken by the iceberg. Another big factor was the inability of the Titanic to turn quickly. Once the lookouts had spotted the iceberg, the captain ordered the ship turned, but it was too late. If the ship had been able to turn faster, it would have missed the iceberg. One of the biggest tragedies about the sinking was that there were not enough lifeboats for everyone on the ship. In addition to this, many of the lifeboats left the sinking vessel with less than half of the people they were designed to carry. For example, the first lifeboat off the Titanic left with only 27 of the allotted 65 passengers. This unfortunate occurrence can be attributed to panic on the part of the passengers and crew. One can only imagine the sheer terror on board the ship that early morning. 1,523 out of the 2,228 passengers and crew perished that morning. Most died from the near-freezing temperature of the Atlantic Ocean. Others drowned after being trapped in the lower decks. 705 people lived to tell their story, most of them women and children who were put on the lifeboats before the grown men were. Because of this, 94% of the first-class passenger women and children were saved, while only 14% of the third-class passenger men survived. Overall, 60% of the first-class occupants survived, while only 25% of the third-class ticket holders lived in the aftermath of this tragedy.
That is the end of section 2.
All right, so that's kind of a typical section 2 that you can expect in the IELTS. Often about some historical event, something that happened, somebody reporting on that. All right, okay, again, in the future, girls and guys, please wait to give your answers, especially since some of the answers you're giving are wrong and confusing to other students. Let's go through these answers and see how you did. Again, remember to count them up and then save those scores so you can figure out your band score for later. All right. What was the overall capacity of the Titanic? So this is multiple choice. You write either A, B, or C. And I can see that a lot of you got the right answer, which is great. Davinder, Saneem, Emily, Amanjot, yep. Arcana, thank you for putting up the math. Yeah, you needed to do a little bit of simple math here. And again, that's part of active listening. So IELTS is testing your thinking, not just your English. And you will be required, most likely, to do a little bit of math here and there, either in the listening or in the reading sections. So be very careful about that. It said that there were 3,500 passengers and 800 crew members, totaling 4,300 people. And here it's overall capacity, so it was 4,300. So C was the correct answer. What was the cost of a third-class ticket? You had to pay attention here that we're talking about a third-class ticket, not second or first class. Was it A, B, or C? Obviously, it shouldn't be A because that would be way too expensive. Yeah, that's right. It was C again. So both answers here are C. It was between 3 and 8 pounds. So C and C would get you 2 correct points there to help boost your overall score. Okay. If you need to get some high scores on the IELTS, like 7.5 or 8, you have to get basically all of these kinds of questions correct. Just getting 1 or 2 of these wrong could drop you below those high scores. Okay, this one is worth 3 points. It's 13 to 15. So in your answer sheet, you'll see 13, 14, 15. You have to put 1 letter in each space on your answer sheet. The order does not matter, okay? The order doesn't matter. You just have to have the correct letters. So for 3 points, what were the 3 benefits of a first-class ticket, okay? It's not overly difficult, Harmeet, as long as you know what you're doing. So a lot of people are saying B, C, and D. Yeah, B, luxurious rooms. That was mentioned right away. Great entertainment. That was repeated a couple times as well. And high-quality meals. So indeed, it was B, C, and D. So you'll see 13, 14, 15. Order, again, doesn't matter. You can go D, B, C like that. As long as you have the correct letters in the spaces 13 to 15, you will pick up all 3 of those points. Awesome. Okay, let's keep it rolling. So here, this is kind of a picture or diagram type question. Very, very likely that you will get this kind of question. These types of questions should actually help you. You should be able to visualize the topic of what's going on and help you to figure out other questions as well. Which of the following is the best representation of the Titanic? Is it A, B, or C? Yeah, so you obviously realize this has 5 smokestacks. This has 4 smokestacks. This has 3 smokestacks. So the actual Titanic, especially if you are familiar with the boat, it had 4 smokestacks. So you had to put B into the answer space. Quick question here. If we're talking about which one represents the Titanic with the actual functioning smokestacks, Which one is that? If I ask you which one represents the functioning smokestacks of the Titanic, A, B, or C, then what one would be correct? Yeah, Baljit says, hey, that was just 3 working. It's got to be C. Yeah, that was just a little bit of bonus question, seeing how well you're paying attention. Yeah, one of these smokestacks is just for show and make it look even bigger. Humans are funny that way. But in fact, only 3 were needed, so that was a bit of a waste of space. They could have maybe used that money and space for extra lifeboats. Would have been a smart plan. But I guess that's not the way humans think all the time. All right, now here you had a flowchart type question. These flowchart type questions are quite common in one of the sections, so you have to really keep the right pacing here. Let's answer these. Extremely calm night. No, something crashed against the icebergs. Logic will help you here. The correct answer is waves. And it has to be plural. Waves are countable, strangely. They are countable, so you can put the word waves. If you have a big letter W with small AVES, that should be okay in this case, I think. All right, number 18. The watertight something failed. Tides would not be okay, Rohini, because tide is not a wave. It's different. Arcana, good. It's doors. Jeffrey, you got to have that S on there. It's not one door, it's doors. There are multiple doors. If you don't have the S, it will be wrong. It's got to be doors, all right? Harmeet, I'll allow your WhatsApp number if somebody wants to contact you for speaking. Girls and guys, it's okay to get speaking partners through our channel, through our website. Just be careful not to share sensitive personal information. Be responsible for what you share. All right, so doors, waves, and then let's go for the last 2 answers. Dun, 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 dun. Number 19. Many something left the ship half full. Arshdeep says lifeboats and Atlantic Ocean with some kablooies. Yeah, lifeboats. And lifeboats is actually one word in English, girls and guys. So you do have to spell that as one word. Lifeboats. Like that. One word. Lifeboats. Okay? They'll probably take life rafts as well. Life rafts, I believe, is 2 words. Lifeboats, interestingly, is 1 word. English is strange. 1,523 people die, most from the freezing cold temperatures of the what? So number 20 is the Atlantic Ocean. Yeah. And this is a little bit of a tricky one. So this is where it's safe for you to write all big letters. Atlantic Ocean is okay. If you wrote it like this, I'm sorry to say you'll probably get that wrong. Because it's a proper noun, both the A and the O have to be capital letters. So big A, big O. That's the general rule in English, that when the second noun is part of the name, then both of them take a capital. So be very, very careful with that. Nada, you'd probably lose that mark just because you have a small O, all right? It has to be a big O. Same thing, Shweta Damar. Because of that small O, they probably will not give you that mark, which is a shame, and it's sad, but it's true, because if you look at a map that's correctly written in English, you'll always see that the ocean is also capitalized, okay? Yes, Emily, all capitals in this sense is definitely the safer bet. Just make sure you pay attention to spelling. It's easier to miss a letter or to write an incorrect letter when you're writing all capitals. So you need to practice that. Okay, girls and guys, add up your scores. Keep it somewhere safe. I will go through listening section 3 and 4 in tomorrow's class. So thank you so much for watching this live stream. Again, if you've seen this listening before, don't worry about it. It's good to have a second run. Absolutely good to review older materials and see if you can catch information that you didn't catch before. Girls and guys, we help you, help us stay competitive, stay alive. check out our website, aehelp.com, gieltshelp.com. aehelp.com is for academic IELTS. gieltshelp.com is for general IELTS. So 19 out of 20 Arcana is a fantastic score. That's what you want to aim for section 1 and 2, because 3 and 4 are more difficult, okay? Check out our websites. Lots of great material there. If you don't have much time, it's the perfect way to start your IELTS study, because there's a lot of self-learning, valuable material there for you. So many students that we've helped with our websites have passed IELTS and have really had success in life, in school, and immigration. Again, if you have questions, you can always send them to me. My name, Adrian, at aehelp.com. You can also practice Skype speaking and things like that on our website, editing and so on, so highly recommend it. If you don't have a sponsor button, Harmeet, it's probably because YouTube hasn't enabled that function in your country or in your region. All right, I do know that in India it should be available for most parts. Girls and guys, again, thank you for watching. I know it's getting late in some of your countries, so I tip my hat to you for being persistent, persevering, pushing forward. You have beautiful brains. Keep up the good work. I know you'll succeed, and I look forward to catching you all tomorrow in the second half of this lesson. For now, goodbye. Have a great night, and sweet dreams to those of you getting ready for bed. Much love. Bye for now.